Armed only with a wrench, sharp humor, and a head brimming with antique bike knowledge, Sam Lovegrove quietly became the heart of Shed and Buried for years. Viewers went in to see him, and Henry Cole dig up secret gems, infuse life into lost classics, and talk like brothers. Sam vanished, however, halfway through season 4, just silence. No farewell episode or explanation. That quiet brought up questions. Where has he gone? What caused his departure? Theories appeared, but solutions did not. Sam's narrative runs deeper than fans ever understood. Behind the closed doors of his Cornish workshop is more than just tools and vintage motors. A mystery is waiting to be found. Anyone who enjoys vintage motorcycles will recognize Sam Lovegrove. His keen eye, practical engineering abilities, and great passion for reviving old-school motorcycles are well known. Most people know him from programs like Find It, Fix It, Drive It, or Shed and Buried, where he resurrects lost machines with only a few tools and great knowledge. Sam's narrative was already in motion, one driven by curiosity, tenacity, and a lifetime passion with machines. However, before the cameras and fan following, Sam was always that child growing up in the West Country of England. He was in the shed, elbow deep in engine components, working out what made things tick while other children were outside, kicking a ball about. Initially, that innate interest in everything mechanical didn't result from formal education. Starting with him teaching himself how to take down and rebuild motorcycles, piece by piece, until they roared back to life. When it came to the technical aspects, school came easy, sharp with numbers, good in physics, and finally using that brain to Oxford Brookes University to study mechanical engineering. He didn't only scrape by, graduating with honors, he combined book knowledge with practical experience to stand out. Sam was already deep into fixing vintage motorcycles by the time most people were still deciding what they wanted to accomplish. He was preserving historical artifacts, not only repairing equipment. News spread. His commitment, his talent, and soon doors began to open were noted by many. Becoming a TV personality was not really in the agenda. Working as a design engineer at Gemini Accident Repair Centers Limited, Sam Lovegrove began in a far more hands-on approach. His emphasis back then, getting the mechanics correct, fine-tuning gearboxes and suspensions across a spectrum of cars. But this was significant engineering, not only amateur dabbling, the sort of effort that subtly set the basis for all that would form the following chapter of his life. Joining Honda Performance Development as a development engineer, he moved on to something a bit more high-octane after Gemini. Things really began to heat up there. He didn't stop there. He worked on some really amazing machines, including the sleek Honda NSX and the powerful Corvette C7R Le Mans cars. Sam also contributed his expertise as a consulting engineer to significant companies, including Aston Martin, Jaguar, and Lotus. By then, he was not only excellent, he was turning into one of those behind-the-scenes legends in the performance car sector. Then arrived the turn. Somewhere along the road, Sam ran across Henry Cole. Henry wasn't just another motorbike enthusiast now, a TV host passionate about two wheels and determined to alter people's perception of motorcyclists. He had a quirky appeal, a small rebellious attitude, and a great love for vintage motorcycles. When Henry first met Sam, he understood this engineer has more than simply abilities. He was there. The way Sam articulated things, the way he made even the most complicated technological stuff seem simple and approachable, struck a chord. Joining Henry on a motorbike show, Sam found himself on camera for the first time. It simply functioned. He immediately struck a chord with the audience. He was simply being himself, smart, cool, obviously in love with the profession. That's how the motorbike show came to be, with a chemistry that set it apart from merely another bike series. Motorcycle enthusiasts soon grew to love the program. It had everything: bike restorations, fast racing throwbacks to famous motorcycles, entertaining interviews, and memorable road trips. But what really distinguished it was how real it seemed. Henry's knowledge combined with Sam's enthusiasm gave the performance a sort of spirit. It was about the narratives behind the motorcycles, the history, the relationship individuals have with these machines, not only about bikes. Henry rode the ultra-rare Bro Superior Super Sports in the opening episode of the second season. Later he took on the notorious Yellow Peril, a 1960 Norton Commando production racer that pushed his abilities like never before. Fans got a genuine treat with Season 7, seeing Henry and Sam revive a vintage WLC Harley, while the legendary Enfield Bullet returned in episodes 3 and 4. Sam was good at it. He could take the most complex, filthy tasks, the sort that left your hands black with grease, and describe them in a way that just made sense. His down-to-earth attitude not only gained him respect but also created a genuine following. The motorbike show took off, and its popularity paved the way for what followed. Shed and Buried, scattered throughout the UK, hidden in ancient barns and sheds, is a veritable collection of lost cars just begging to be resurrected. And that is just what Henry Cole and Sam Lovegrove have set out to do. From old vehicles and classic motorbikes to rusty tractors and even boats, these two are on a quest to find and restore the mechanical history of the nation, one dusty shed at a time. Flipping these finds could help them to earn some money along the road even more. Known for its odd people, Britain has many of them busily working in backyard shops. Henry and Sam fit exactly into that universe. Henry, a biker at heart, with a keen eye for a bargain, adds enthusiasm and appeal to the hunt. Mechanical genius Sam can take practically any engine-driven item and make it purr once again. They complement one another perfectly. One's the fixer, the other's the deal-maker. Their journeys, however, are not always seamless. Henry's quick-talking zeal sometimes gets him into trouble. He's been known to buy a car before Sam's even had the opportunity to give it a suitable once-over. Conversely, Sam's habit of becoming distracted by machines he only wants for himself can lead them astray. Their banter, focus, and sporadic conflict just enhance the enjoyment of seeing them in motion. One memorable time was when they went to Leicester to see Eddie Roberts' collection. A rare 1962 Greaves Sportsman was in the spotlight. The seller desired significantly more than its value. Sam was not having it. He immediately pointed out the problems and declined to overpay. Captured on camera, that negotiation became a highlight of the 2016 season. While some spectators believed they were being cheap, Sam insisted he was safeguarding the genuine worth of old devices. That audacious action merely drew greater focus to the performance. Later, further south in Cornwall, they came across a shed full of rotting agricultural equipment. Buried in the chaos was a barely holding together Ferguson T20 tractor. Sam immediately recognized the possibility. He disassembled it, reconstructed it from the ground up, and converted it into a smooth-running beauty. When they auctioned it off, it went for a fair amount, and showed these two weren't only entertainers, serious restorers. They knew how to transform rust into gold. Another remarkable time had place in Northern Ireland. On a peaceful farm, buried under hay and forgotten by time, they found a collection of military vehicles, including a Land Rover that had seen genuine action. Sam quickly saw its historical worth. He oversaw the restoration, therefore retaining its original components. When it was eventually sold to a collector, it fetched a large amount. Not everyone, however, was pleased. The farmer who'd owned it charged the couple with minimizing its worth to obtain a bargain. While Henry discussed the media uproar, Sam remained mute and let his work to speak for itself. Their following rose as the show became more well-liked. The relationship between Henry and Sam attracted many. Henry with his charm, Sam with his unwavering knowledge and no-nonsense attitude. Shed and Buried became popular, not only because of the great discoveries, but also because of the friendship and conflict at its core. Sam especially stood out. His genuine passion for fixing vintage motorcycles, coupled with a modest, practical approach, soon endeared him to the audience. He wasn't simply another television mechanic. In the field of vintage car restoration, he earned a reliable name. Sam kept going when Shed and Buried took gone. He maintained the momentum with his long-standing partner, Henry Cole. They together started another successful show. Find It, Fix It, Drive It. Their common love of old cars this time ran even deeper, transforming forgotten relics into road-ready classics. Every episode was like seeing two old friends embark on a crazy road trip with purpose. Discover a neglected car, restore it, and subject it to some crazy test. It always started off the same. Hunting for the ideal artifact to refurbish, they'd travel across the nation scouring barns, garages, and sheds. The clock began to run once they obtained something hopeful. While Henry relied on his broad network of professionals to pull the project together, Sam would dig beneath the hood, sifting through all the technical components. The true enchantment, however, was at the conclusion of every episode, often in a task that tested more than just horsepower. That's when they drove their newly rejuvenated car out for its big moment. Every conclusion seemed like a celebration of hard work, history, and passion, whether it was competing in a plowing tournament with a vintage tractor, restoring a renowned 70s motorbike for a major custom exhibition, or screaming around the old banked track at Brooklands in a classic race car. The grease and gears weren't what set the performance apart. Rather, it was the chemistry. While Henry contributed contagious enthusiasm and a gift for narrative, Sam offered great mechanical knowledge. Their combined efforts transformed a basic restoration series into something more, a tale of friendship, adventure, and a common love for restoring lost machinery. That is what drew people back. But the rhythm abruptly shattered just as everything started to flow. Fans of Shed and Buried's fourth season couldn't help but see anything off in the second half. There was no sign of Sam Lovegrove. People soon began to question what caused his absence. Had he departed permanently? The lack of hints in the performance increased the enigma. Henry Cole then came in with somewhat of an upgrade in March 2022. He posted a video stating that Sam had been unwell. Some sort of sickness had affected him, and that was mostly why he was missing. Apart from that, specifics were few. No one knew if Sam was leaving the program completely or just taking a brief break. Though Sam was no longer on the program, one thing remained constant: his relationship with Henry. Henry visited Cornwall in November 2022 to see his old buddy. The two talked, laughed, and explored Sam's most recent antique car projects. They even recorded the visit and distributed it to admirers, so providing everyone a behind-the-scenes glimpse at Sam's off-camera existence. That video made it obvious that although he may have left the program, his love for vintage machinery and his relationship with Henry were still very much alive. Most people are familiar with Sam Lovegrove from his television appearances, but that's only scraping the surface. Away from the cameras, particularly via his work with the legendary British brand, Brew Superior, he has quietly established himself as a major influence in motorcycle engineering. And this is not only any motorbike business. Brew Superior is famous for making some of the most exclusive high-performance motorcycles in the world. What about Sam? He has been exactly in the middle of it all. Sam took over as lead engineer when Brew Superior was resurrected in 2013, having first being established way back in 1999 to 19. He wasn't only assembling bikes, he was rethinking a legacy, transferring the essence of the original vehicles into the contemporary era. Sam was instrumental under firm owner Mark Upham's close direction and cooperation with the rest of the team, building bespoke motorcycles that matched the legendary reputation of the company. These bikes were not only lovely, they worked and worked hard. For instance, the Brew Superior 11 FCC. This monster entered the 1350 APS VF category, and soon caused a stir, averaging 113.668 miles per hour, and breaking a brand new AMA mark. It ran 110.4 Mach-yard, and then achieved 116.8 A2, 7 PR on the return. Later in the week, following some fine-tuning and streamlining adjustments, the bike entered a different class, the 1350 AVF, and it flew. First run, 122.61 miles per hour. Second, 126.075 miles per hour. Last average 124.3334 miles per hour. Another AMA record in the bag. The last motorbike pass of the whole event turned out to be that last run, cut short by a heavy downpour, sending everyone scurrying for safety. Eric Patterson, the rider, and Alistair Gibson, the team's lead engineer, could not have been more delighted. And what really stood out about it all? That engine was really smaller than the class permitted. The true highlight of the event, however, was a bicycle called the Baby Pendine. Sam himself prepped and fine-tuned a 700cc machine. This one was record-breaking, not only quick. Renowned motorcycle journalist Alan Cathcart wrote the Baby Pendine, which set 2 AMA records and 2 FIM world records during its brief period, averaging 101.322, 8 MAHE, and locking in a position in the record books. Alan opened its speed on the return and achieved 105.004 miles per hour. The first run was more of a shakedown at 97.60, if some appear. Then came Henry Cole, a TV presenter turned racer, who tossed his hat into the infant Pendine. Though it was his first time ever racing on the salt flats, he rode like he'd been doing it his whole life. Fighting a strong crosswind and a questionable tank slapper, he was able to record 104.298 kph in the flying kilometer and 103.941 kilometers in the flying mile, so setting an AMA record in the 750 AVF class. After waiting nearly 3 hours to receive his shot, the moment felt much sweeter for both Henry and Sam. As the day progressed, circumstances became more difficult. Though the wind became erratic, the salt flats were constant. There was little time. They only just made it to the starting line. They had to get Henry's bike examined and down there. Sam, however, was not on the sidelines. Right in the heart of it, he was testing, verifying, and making sure every bike satisfied the rigorous safety and dependability criteria. His work on bikes like the Brew Superior SS100 helped him to be known as a master artisan in the field of motorcycle restoration and design. Sam Lovegrove is the sort of guy who flies under the radar when the cameras aren't running despite his TV appearances and strong ties to the motorcycling community. Away from the spotlight, he spends a tranquil life in the Cornish countryside, nestled away in a farmhouse with his wife and 4 children. It's more than simply a calm house. It's also where he maintains a large workshop packed with antique cars, a setting that's equal parts sanctuary and playground for his lifelong obsession. Sam spends the most of his time with his family, or deep in his restoration work when not filming. The sort he does just for the love of it. He has a profound link to machines and motorcycles. For him, this is not only work. For as long as anyone can recall, it has been a component of his identity, that hands-on labor, that desire to understand how things operate. It's what motivates him every day. He may not be appearing on episodes of Shed and Buried as he once did, but Sam still matters right now, among old cars. His engineering abilities combined with his laid-back charisma have won him great respect, both on television and off. Whether or not he comes back to television anytime soon, there's no doubt he'll continue to play a major part in the automotive and motorbike scene. From a man who enjoyed fiddling with motorcycles, Sam has evolved into a well-liked personality in the engineering field over the years. He has created a name for himself, not only by ability, but also by honesty, zeal, and capacity to revive outdated machinery. His impact is still felt even if he is not front and center on screen right now. Built on talent, passion for the art, and loyal to himself, Sam Lovegrove's narrative still motivates enthusiasts, gearheads, and other restorers all over.